Good morning all. Welcome to the breakfast show Trading Idea with SMARTRobie. And today we're going to share with you how to time the stock market and maybe buying at the top. Now, those of you who have been following us on the Telegram chat room as well, I did talk about this morning in our morning podcast that the market is likely to be bottoming. And of course, there was also a reply from one of our commenter is sell in May and go away. Is this likely to stay on as what we have seen? Now, many of our audience who's kind of worried with this market continue to go further and further down. Where are we at right now at this market? I'm going to share with you so far, so don't go away yet. And let's take a look at what we have for you this morning in our SMARTRobie. Now, definitely that's right. Now, those of you who don't have SMARTRobie, you can download the apps from our Google Play Store and our Apple Play Store. But I'm going to share with you today one of those features that we have for some time, which is very, very good for those of you who are more of a value investor, for those who are looking for a little bit more on quality companies. That is no other than the Robie FA, which stands for Fundamental Analysis Collection Index. That's the one that you see on top of me here, and I'm going to go on and talk about in here. But let's take a look at what we have for you this morning in our morning sharing. And thank you for giving us a like in here. We really appreciate your time that you spend with me in here. And if you have any stocks that you want me to look at, do pencil in on the right hand side and share it. Now let's take a look at what we have for you in timing this market. And usually when the market is right now at the bottom, we don't get a lot of people, right? Because many people will like to stay out. And of course, when the market is all-time hot and high, when it hit higher, then people will get interested. But usually that is the time where smart money comes in to sell. Now take note, the trend for most people to able to continue will be at least 3 months of continuous bullish. We never had that for a long time, especially from the KLCI right now. So that's why for the public and for those of you who is beginner, it's very important to understand this as part and parcel of your trading strategy. We very, very seldom have 3 months of bullishness. And the last time we had that was actually back in 2020 after the COVID. We saw the stock market really rifle up. That's where people started to come in. But I do guess a lot of people who are untrained and unskilled, except you, right? You have been really much trained off in here and you probably know what's really gone. And very important is also right now, the market is undergoing volatility as we stand in here. So there is looking into more fundamental stocks. That's why we talk about in here. And let's take a look at the wider chart. You could see we are looking for those highly rated, and this is updated every day. So you can see on my right hand side here, we have this list inside. So far we have FA Robie alert. We have some of those. Tech started to make up nicely. You can see 0.66. These are your Robie FA intraday alert. Tech has moved up 1.7%, which is not too bad. So that's probably from yesterday list in here. So check it out on Tech, which we will do. So stay on with us in here. And of course, here we view the Robie FA past winner. Let's click on that one in here and see what it takes us to. And we got GOB, which has been up 38% since 20th of May. Nice one, isn't it, right? Then we got Harbor. These are all the Robie FA lists that was picked up in here. BJ Food and Matrix 2, which is around the 4% mark in here. So for those of you who had followed the Robie Pentagon guide list, this would be a good list for you to look at in here. All right. Now let's take a look at what we have going forward about Pentagon Guide. Now, Pentagon Guide, like it or not, it's more of a spin-off to make easier, especially for those of you who are beginner in here, to understand about the element of follow the smart money. And the father who started out is Tom Williams in here. He's the creator of volume spread analysis, and he talks about the presence of smart money in the market, which many of you may already heard in here. And what we does is that we incorporated the Pentagon Guider as a feature for the smart money tracking system, where we look at sign of strength and sign of weaknesses. So that's pretty much in the shell of it in here. What we are really concerned is the stages, the background behind what we've seen. Usually we see that on the left hand side, and what we do right now is couple it together with the FA list, which is the fundamental list, and that's where you can get some of these real benefit fundamental analysis, good quality stocks with the market timing following the volume spread analysis in here. So switching back to my wider chart in here. Now let's take a look at the last episode which we did about 2 weeks ago, was episode 174. Today's episode 175. You could see this is what we talk about on the left hand side. Okay, you can see here we have a wide range of background. You can see sign of strength coming in here, lots of tests, right? Test, and these are the things that you want to really pay attention. Of course, the Green Pentagon really started back in April, but we picked this up as part of the what we call stage 2 shares, because sometimes you are never in the market, so we had to pick up from where it is. So around 559 in here, and market was in stage 2, you could see from here, and there were no signs of Red Pentagon. And then subsequently going forward, one of the big indicator is what we call overtake the upthrust. That is again a continuation of the upper trend, but with the last round that we have another upthrust here, you could see it couldn't overtake it, and it turns out to be a red pentagon. So that kind of thing we have to be very, very careful usually, but when it does take out, the market can run a bit more. But when you see the red pentagon, what does that mean? You better chabot lah. You chabot here, right? Then at least you got a nice run. Probably if you have 5-10% here. Now let's take a look at around the 590 up to what we call maybe 740. And we use our calculator in here. Let me just bring up my calculator, right? And you're able to see the there you go. So we have the price difference in here, 740 minus 590. We are looking at $1.50 divided by 590, right? There is, wow, a 25%. Now we're not talking about taking the full 25%. Sometimes, especially market like this, you take 10%, 8%, which is good enough in this kind of market in here, right? Of course, you can never take it to the top, and that's why we talk about selling at the predetermined target price. You can always do predetermined target price early on when you're on SMARTRobie. Just go to the trading plan of Petron in here and type it in there. And let me just share with you how you can do that. So you go to 7 here. Let me just take this out. Okay, and now you go to Petron, P-I-T-R-O-N, right? Petron M. And of course, previously you put in the exit strategy. Since if you're already in there, then take it as an exit strategy in here. The support was about S1 483, because exit, right? Then we want to able to exit around the weekly support around 620. Okay, 620, you should be already out by then. Okay, out by then. Resistance was 761, so which is a 19%. 761, did it hit? Let's check it out in here. The last round that we have, 761, and switching here. Okay, switching back to Petron. Okay, switching back to Petron here. 761. Yeah, I hit 750. The high was 761, which is the resistance R1. Okay, the R1 resistance was that target price in here. So now there's no more green pentagon. As a matter of fact, it's a red pentagon, so you don't want to be looking at this stock right now. All right, let's take a look at the next example that we have for you from our last episode 174. This one was a trade on Charimin. Now remember, there's a difference between Petron, which is a downstream. This one, sorry, it's an upstream, and Charimin is more of a downstream. You could see there were already a 2-bar reversal, which is actually sign of weakness. Okay, sign of weakness, and you could see the red pentagon came out, and that was one trade that didn't work. Of course, not all trade. That's why we want to share with you working trade and not working trade. It was a minus 6% from the opening price in here, and at least you would have avoided the major selling that we going on in here, right? So learn to sell. All right, check out our last episode 174, where we have a very good show that talks about learn to sell on red pentagon. All those signals are there. You just have to put it in the work and record that all in your trading plan. All right, record that all in your trading plan, and that's how you want to move forward. Of course, let's take a look at this morning. What we want to talk about is the SMARTRobie FA stock list, a collection of fundamental stock lists, which I already talked about in here. The couple of stocks that comes out here. Bear in mind, the KLCI is still in the red Pentagon, right? Red Pentagon. So we can check out the market in here. Let's take a look at this morning where we are. Red Pentagon, KLCI, you can see. All right, you can see it hasn't really turned, broke through the ATR stop loss, which is the horizontal red line. That means, you know, this market can go down some more, right? Of course, now what we are waiting is the green Pentagon to come in, but likely to break around the 1560. Maybe there's some sign, maybe not. But also the question some of the audience were asking me is the lowering of our US dollar versus ringgit. Now, like it or not, our ringgit is actually paired to the Chinese yuan. Like it or not, it's actually paired to the Chinese yuan in comparison with the Singapore dollar. If Chinese yuan does better after this whole lockdown, we will definitely improve. So always take a look at the Chinese yuan rather than Malaysian ringgit, because like it or not, at times when our country ringgit is strengthened, then they say GDP growth is up. But to me, that's a very, very little difference in terms of how we strong. We are pegged to very strongly of the Chinese yuan. So make sure you check out that one in here, the Chinese yuan. But let's take a look at the overall market, Uchitech, KFIMA, and Carlsberg. So we also want to check out the FA that we've seen here. So first one is Carlsberg. You can see on top here, turn green Pentagon, a nice pullback. Let's take a look where is Carlsberg this morning, because this one is playing into the economy. Economy coming back better. Of course, Carlsberg is doing all-time high in here. Let's take a look at this stock price this morning, and it is down slightly at 22.24. And stock chart, stock comment, let's take a look, which is the one that you see here, and you could see this market is what you see, and we want to check out the fundamentals too, right? This is where you want to look at the fundamentals. Looking at it, it is 5 out of 8, and that's why Robie FA rating is all about, with a P of 13 times but a return on equity of 79, pays a 2.68 dividend, so that's pretty good, right? In here, the discounted rate is at 10% is supposed to be 58 ringgit based on the return of equity. But can it maintain the kind of return on equity it is considered as undervalued? But sometimes when you have 161% in here, you have to be very careful in here. Target price by calculation of PE is $27, which is around $22, which is upside of 22%. I don't think it's going to be able to go up that high. 22 being this is just more of a play on the economy recovery in here, but no doubt it's a 5%. But this is one of those stocks where generally if you are a believer in the so-called value, right, and good quality stocks, Carlsberg is one, because it is 22 ringgit. All right, let's take a look at the next one, which is a FA, is KFIMA. Now take note, KFIMA is also let's go back to KFIMA on the SMARTRobie. It is one of the stock that was highlighted on the RHB Jewel 2022. Now RHB Jewel 2022 came out only I think about 2-3 weeks ago, early May, and we do have them as our watch list in our VSA 360, so make sure you check it out in the VSA 360 in here. So you can see from this list, item number 3 with the red with a blue diamond, that's what we mean. Let's take a look at the 6469. Click on that one, and we're going to move on to the fundamentals in here. So fundamentals, PE of 9 times with the ROE at 8.5, that gives it a 4 rating, all right, and pretty low price and a 5% dividend. So what do they do? I really don't know. I have to go to the website, hit on to the fima.com.my. Oh, they are not even okay. They are not even listed. Okay, go to advanced. We go there, means they don't really take care of their website because of the certification already expired in here. You can see FIMA in here. I think they should do something about the certification. That doesn't look very good, isn't it, for this company? Oh, is it Palm Mall? Let's take it out. KFIMA, right? Who we are, 1972, manufacturing food businesses, or Indonesia and Papua New Guinea, right? Food business, right? Incorporated in here. So first thing you see is, oh, they're under forest business in here. Definitely we want to check out here is the overall trend. Let's hit the trend button in here. All the financials is all in here. That's one thing makes it great, so simple. And income statements, you could see the profit margin actually moves a fair bit. 2008. I just want to switch over to a quarterly, if I can get a quarterly here. Maybe not, right? Go on to the financials. You can see balance sheet. Yep, you can switch on to the quarterly. Yep, you can see quarterly. The total revenue, it's really strengthening in here. Perhaps maybe that's one of the reasons why you want to look at this. Again, this is maybe a plantation palm oil, required a little bit more investigation. So definitely KFIMA is something in your list. What you want to look at. Floating shares is 47%, not too great. We prefer something that is 70% floated, so more difficult to manipulate. But like you see on this side here, you got a lot of strength, right? CNS confirmed no demand, another confirmed no demand with test springs. The market right now, can it break above the 250, 260 level in here? Yet to be seen. Let's take a look at this morning on the live stock prices. Right, down slightly, minus 0.4% in here, and we hope that this stock can move higher in conjunction together with the plantation sectors in here. All right, next one after Carlsberg is Uchitech, which is many of you may be very familiar. Uchitech. Let's zoom back up here again and look at the list. Uchitech is item number 5. Okay, item number 5, giving a FA rating of 5 out of 8, around $3 in here. Pentagon guided of 85. Of course, hit 710. Let's check out the fundamentals too. That's why we use Robie FA, right? I do know this one pays pretty good dividend with a ROE of 44% and a PE of 14 times, which is very reasonable, not that expensive, with a dividend of 5%. So those of you who are looking for dividend yield, especially as part of the retirement plan in here, Uchitech does serve this purpose again. And going to the financials, click on the financials over there, and you could see right now, oh, look at that one, very good one, right? Income statement. Go over to the financials. You want to check out the quarterly. Hit quarterly there. You can see here, and quarterly, it is stabilizing. Of course, the first quarter of 2022 has dropped a bit here. Fourth quarter is pulling back in here, net income. But let's take a look at the margins. Going back to the first page overview, margins is improving, and maybe this is definitely one of the technology stocks that you can. Of course, you can check out the overall website. Let's get to the website here, uchi.net. And you can see, wow, okay, this one is Taiwanese company. You can see, 2020 was awarded the Edge Billion Ringgit 2021. So that is something pretty positive for this one in here. Overall, pretty solid company, I would say, right? With the right credential, have we seen so far in here? And Uchitech, resistant is at 3 ringgit 10 cents. Let's take a look at the stock price right now, which will have difficulty trying to break up here. It's still up 0.7% in here. All right, 2 bar reverse down after it turned green Pentagon, but the 3 ringgit 10 cent need to be broken up in here. All right, we got Ravinder Singh want me to take a look at the Haptech and Serber Dynamic. Is really a gone deal. I think we shouldn't even be looking at Serber Dynamic unless it is a trading stock. If it's a trading stocks, use the Trade VSA plugin, because you need a real time. You need to trade real time of the market volatility. Haptech, if it's broken down the ATR stop loss, we will look at that one too. All right. So in short, the short lessons we want to share with you is wait for the green Pentagon to appear, green Pentagon thing to buy, red to stay out, and we break through the ATR stop loss, cut and go. All right, beginners learn to take small profit, just like the earlier example that we've seen, the Petron M. If it does run for 25%, but you just want to take about 6-8%, follow the smart money, follow the green Pentagon, and exit on the red Pentagon, and then you'll be fine. Of course, if you are beginner, right, and you see red Pentagon overall on the KLCI right now, it's still red Pentagon, you might want to stay out. And best of all, you need to do this kind of back test. Else, you'll be just doing forward testing, giving a few trades or not, and then you probably come back and showcase to you in here. All right, let's take a look at the, couple of final tips. Wait for the Green Pentagon, wait for the volume to come in here, and break out of the resistance, just like the 310 on what we saw for the Uchitech in here, right? Don't be greedy. Go for small profit, especially if you are beginner. Now, always trade with the trading plan, stop loss, profit target, and control your emotion. Very, very important. Okay, and for those of you who want to move up to the next level, definitely you want to upgrade to our trade VSA 360 in here for low prices of 2 ringgit per day in here. Definitely will bring the investment back to you. Return investment much faster than you. All right, we're going to be looking at a couple of stocks in here. We do have, we got Richie Chin here. Thank you for your good well wishes in here. Thank you very much. And let's also look at the others too. Your well wishes so far. Okay, we got Hyaptek. Let's take a look at Hyaptek by Ravinder here. Hyaptek. Okay, Hyaptek is a goner, as I said before. Broke through the ATR stop loss. It's time to go. As soon as a Red Pentagon, sell. If you do sell on the Red Pentagon, maybe you got it at the worst price. Of course, when you have Red Pentagon, probably you exit on the opening, which is this price. Okay, 445, and right now you would have avoided 19%. So I hope, Ravinda, you do have a plan and exit on the Red Pentagon, right? At least you would have avoided this. As I said before, this market right now, it's bearish market. So on bearish market, you are fighting the trend, right? So you only have to wait for the Green Pentagon. Just like we normally do in our Pentagon guided trading portfolio, you have to trade with a plan, right? And that's the only way you sustain it. All right, let's take a look at the server dynamics too. All right, I hope that little small tip will help you going forward in future. And right now here, this stock definitely has dropped more than 85%. Right? In here, I wouldn't recommend trading, but unless you want to switch to hourly chart, right? And that's better. You switch to hourly chart, you have a better insight. So definitely this is something we'll talk more on the Friday segment. Okay, so Ravinder, do come back on Friday. We'll check out more using the VSA 360 and looking at the hourly Pentagon to trade this. Because right now, if you want to trade this kind of stocks, you need to, just like if you're going to go to the war, okay? But if you are under tool, meaning you don't have the right tool, you want to go in and fight, most likely you're not going to make it in here, because this kind of stocks are very, very volatile. You can see, look at this single bar itself. One bar in 1 hour, you're down 4%. So make sure you get the real-time chart. Just like, if you fight against the Russian tank, you need your javelin, right? Same thing too. So get the right tools in here, and something I'll share with you on Friday, showcase to you if you have those right tools. But perhaps I can share with you some other better trades that has worked much better, that the public don't use it, like our latest strategy, overtaking of the uptrust. Check that one out, Ravindan. All right, Ravindan Singh. If you're not, that's why we have the VSA 360 to convince you what we're going to do. All right, we're going to be looking at the, we've seen Hyaptek. Let's take a look at Genting Malaysia. All right, Genting Malaysia, still no buy yet. As I said before, no Green Pentagon in here. Unless you want to trade the hourly chart, then you switch to an hourly chart. You can see market, other than this one here, really not really the kind of volume. You don't see the volume. As a matter of fact, this is what we call a sell-off volume. There are more downside going forward in here. So Kevin, I hope that you are also one of our VSA follower. At least follow the strategy that we talk about. Red Pentagon, don't buy. Only buy a Green Pentagon. At least you will have some sort of chances. Going back to it, our KLCI is still negative. All right. Now, like it or not, if you trade with your own opinion, whatever you think that market recovery, make sure you do some back testing to see whether it has worked or not. Else, it is almost by chance if the stock goes up or not. Remember, right? You need to back test all your strategy going forward. The more that you back test, the more confidence that you can get. That's all we always do in VSA 360. Ourselves and the coaches, we continue to use the our AI to backtest a lot of our strategy to ensure that we always have favorable outcome to our side. That's all we can do, right? Would you agree to that, Kevin? I hope you do. All right. Any more stocks that you want me to look at? Feel free to put it in there. I'll be happy to look at that. And of course, some of the other stocks, which is you should check out the trade VSA .com website. They have more information, or you can just check out the hot sectors, which I want to share with you. The hot sectors that here, go to Uchi Tech, go back to main menu, and you can see right now the hot sectors is energy, utilities, finance. So just go on to utilities. You can check out the energy sector first. What are the hotter one? Most of these are actually in red Pentagon, you can see, right? With a few of Costa, right? KNN is negative. So, this one, 7228, all right? 7228, T7 Global. Check that one out, all right? So make sure you turn on the Pentagon subscription for that 1 month, and you're able to see that. All right, okay, let's go on to don't forget to smash the subscribe button on YouTube and check out our video at a glance. For those of you who are busy, we have some video for you to really follow up and really know more about market. And our latest will be the 5 signs of market bottoming. All right, check that one out on our YouTube. Subscribe to it in here, and of course, do join our Telegram chat room. We have not, and spread those good words to your friends and benefit, so they can benefit in here. And thank you for coming. All right, if you have any stocks, just pencil those in there, and I'll be happy to answer them. If not, I'll also comment in our Telegram in channels, and we'll be there to of service to you. Thank you very much, and thank you for coming. Bye bye.